Alright, so I've been watching AVE, this old Tony, Wintergatan, and I'm a big fan. And I just moved to a new apartment and I thought, like, let's have some fun with wood and stuff. And yeah, like, why not realize a project, but also record it? So that's what I'm doing. Project number one. Pretty evident, isn't it? What we could do is we could buy like one of these things where you put your cutlery in and then like it slides around and then stuff falls to the side or whatever. Or we could maximally utilize the space that we have and make our custom solution that just divides the different kinds of cutlery, forks, knives, and all kinds of spoons. So yeah, the design is going to be pretty simple. Let's just put up dividing walls for this drawer. We're gonna have the main three types of cutlery in the front, and pretty much like you would serve it on a table, we're gonna have the smaller spoons on top, and then the longer spoons back there, and chopsticks that I use very rarely in the very back. For wood, we're gonna use, I don't know how you call this in English, pressed wood, something like that. This is super cheap. This is like $2 or so in a hardware store. Yeah, so let's get designing. One small thing before we move on. This drawer is not perfectly rectangular, and what we have is we have these sidewalls here, and I don't know if you can see it, but there is a small radius here to it. So that's fun. What we could do is we could try to model this, but actually I'm just going to assume that we have the full width of the drawer to work with, and then we're going to kind of like in an adaptive way file it down to the correct size. You'll see.
All right, so what we have here is the measurements that I took. So the depth of the drawer inside is 46.5 centimeters. And we're gonna put the length of these first couple of subdivisions at 24 centimeters, which is slightly longer than the knives, which are the longest parts of the cutlery. And then we have the width of the drawer, basically at the top of the curve, and 29 at the bottom of the curve. So let's add in the walls. And let's just start with the walls that are necessary to do the subdivisions, and then we'll worry about stability a bit later. So 3 millimeters is the thickness of our wood. Making this midpoint is a bit tedious. I don't know if there's a better way. There must be a better way. Yeah, this is annoying. Let's just it's a bit ugly, but let's just add the dimensions manually. So yeah, let's extrude these guys and see what happens, how it looks like. Okay. Okay, so now if we look at this, this is obviously not very stable. Let's put in the sketch of the drawer. So if we would just try to implement this, well, first of like everything would just jiggle around. Like these first two, they would flop to the left and the right, and obviously these two guys in the back are not constrained. So let's add some more profiles to make them constrained. We're gonna add like a wall to the front, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add just something that's on the sides that goes all the way through. Have to add it manually again? How nice. Demo effect, I tell you. Obviously, I could like super edit and like these videos and just take a million takes, but ain't nobody got time for that. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Ooh, okay. So, the things on the side, let's, because remember we have this curve, so actually let's not add them right now. I'm gonna leave them drawn in, but actually we're not gonna extrude them. And we're gonna pretend like we know what the radius of this curve here is. We're gonna add it in and yeah, see what happens. Not see what happens, but add kind of like these things, these long beams on the side, kind of on top of the curve. You'll see. Okay, so let's add this curve, and now obviously we're gonna eyeball it in here. We're doing this 3D design anyways, only to figure out the basic dimensions of the thing, and the curve we'll do later with a trick. So yeah, this is purely random here. And especially I'm gonna leave the top super wide so that we can actually get the measurement of like how wide the plate should be before the carving out of these sides. So let's just assign it a random radius. Yeah, 13, why not? And give 1.5 centimeters to the top. And this should be coincident, of course, with this. It's constrained, and we need to add 2 more edges to make it a closed surface. Okay. And of course we want to mirror that. Will that work? No, never mind. Yeah. All right, looks pretty nice, doesn't it? So that's what it's gonna look like, and now let's add these. Just as a concept, let's add the beams on the side. Let's say it's going to be 2 centimeters wide, I guess. And of course, again, 3 millimeters thick. Then the question is where to put it. Kind of at the top. Anyways, this we're gonna just kind of like draft here and eyeball then in reality later. So yeah, whatever. And let's mirror it again. I guess we could also mirror the feature instead of mirroring the sketch, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has an opinion of which one is better. Let me know. So yeah, this is going to be cut out, I guess. But who cares? Let's not go into these details. No, I want to extrude until this thingy here. Eesh. Fine, let's just do it manually again. Yay. Distance, what was it? Minus 46.5. And we didn't want to cut, but we wanted to join. Okay, and so basically this is already it. So we can get cracking with cutting out the parts. Any thoughts? Yeah, I think I'm gonna glue this. So, oh yeah, and of course, the question is like how to connect these. And I was actually thinking, instead of just connecting them perpendicularly, we can make these kinds of cutouts here. Or basically, they're overlapping, and one of them has material at the top half, and the other one has the material at the bottom half. Well, you'll see what I mean.
Alright, so let's start with the side, and I think we're gonna start with the very long bars on the side. And actually, I think I will use the file to file down, you know, like the cuts that we need to do on the side. So just see how broad the file is. And it turns out 2 centimeters. Oh, that's awesome. So let's use 2 centimeters. And I think I'm just gonna place them next to each other. Like, it would make sense to account for the width of the blade that's gonna cut it, but I think we'll be fine. Oh, whoops. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know where I have my eraser. So, I'll just draw another one. I think it's gonna be fine. What am I gonna do this cut? It'll be fine. Good. And the length is 46.5. We should probably make it a bit longer and then file it down to the right length. But yeah. So I'm gonna mark down basically a bit more than 46.5. 46.7, 48.8. I will file that down. We'll cut it down or whatever. Okay, so these are the sidebars. Now let's see, we're gonna have 4 pieces which are 32 wide, which I think is just a little bit too wide to fit in here. Yes, it's just a little bit too wide, but we're also gonna have those 2 pieces in the front that I think they are a bit shorter. Yes, they are 24.15. Alright. So both of them together fit next to each other, which is perfect. So let's put 2 of each, and then yeah, we're gonna have like a little bit of wasted space. Then we get creative with it. Probably not. Alright. So 32 wide. Let's start with that. And again, we're gonna make it just a smudge wider. A smidge. I hope I'm recording. Great. Let's just do the 24 on the other side. No, 24.15. Yeah, again, I mean, let's just eyeball it, make it a bit longer, nobody cares. At least not in this case. Sometimes you have to care, I guess, but not this time. 24 though. 2. So 2 times, and the height if each thing is 6.5. Yes. Whoops, that's not 6.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we could do math, but you know, you don't have to do math always. Maybe let's be precise this time. Yes, let's be precise this time. So it's going to be this one. Alright, and then again 6.5, so 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one less. It's gonna be here. Of course this is too short. This is mechanically reasonable. You know what, let's see and measure. Life is all about experiments and science. I guess science is all... whatever. So we have one less than 17 here, which is already a good sign, one less than. And... yeah, 17 here. I'm gonna be happy with that. So let's do the same down here. I mean, yeah, there is wiggle room. You can kind of like see that it definitely moves in the millimeter range. Do I want to do this the proper way? Alright, let's do this the proper way, but let's not fix the other one. So the proper way is 9.9 here. 999. Should be 9.9. Yeah, why is it 9.9? What the hell? It's 4 and 6.5. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, read it properly. So it's, yeah, 10.5. Good. 10.5. I'm kind of like under the impression that maybe I'll need a second draft, but I'm totally feeling the rapid prototyping. So let's do more of a rapid prototyping approach here. I mean, ain't nobody got time for proper engineering. Alright, 2 more to go of the broad ones. And let's just put them on top of that. So another 2 times 6.5. Let's actually, let's see, let's just continue this line. Yeah, again, I would like to do my trick here. Yeah, the laptop's kind of in the way, let's put it away. Yeah, a smidge more than 32, I should have remembered. And then 6.5 times 2 is 13. Alright, and that's already it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these subdividers. 4? Yeah. Yeah, 4, because there's one in the front. And then 2 of these subdividers for like forks, knives, spoons. And these long bars on the sides. Excellent, let's get to cutting. So, do you think this makes jagged edges? Put your thoughts in the comments. I'm kidding, don't. It's actually the first time I use this tool. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, not too bad. But yeah, I left the vacuum. And boy oh boy do I have other equipment that I'm gonna need. Ah, thank you music festivals. And now the TV also looks lived in. Well, I guess there is a reason why people have tool sheds. I'm gonna need like a saw like this. Thankfully, as a Swiss person, I have the right tools. I mean, I would say the edge is pretty nice actually. Yeah, and then there's the butchery. So, this thing, I think, is older than me. I know that my dad had it since a very long time. So, anyways, that's what I'm gonna use to cut these cuts that I planned yesterday evening. I'm a bit lucky that this board is short enough that I can cut it from both sides and not hit the end. So yeah, I guess with a bigger board I would plan some spaces between the parts. And yeah, of course they're not going to be correct, or they're not going to be properly dimensioned down to the millimeter, but I think for this project this is going to be fine. Alright, so how do we do this? It would be nice to have something that would actually ensure that the spacing is proper, so let me think about that. So I think this should be 2 centimeters. Let's check again. Yeah. Alright. It's not going to be a precise science. 7 dot... Yeah, let's do something like that. Right about here, and now we need to make sure that it's parallel. We don't. It actually doesn't need to be perfectly parallel, it just needs to be 2 centimeters here. That's nice. Yeah, good. Yeah, don't lean on stuff. Oh, that moved. Oh no. No, why is there a strut there? Oh. That's straight enough for me. Yeah. Ah, nice. Let's do it. I think nice. I don't like this trajectory at all. time for a tappity tap tap, I guess. And the nice thing about having this spacing here now is that we don't actually need the lines anymore. I mean, touching wood. Yeah, close enough. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, very nice. It's a bit longer, which is great, because you can always cut it down, but you can't make it longer. But nice. And time to cut the rest. First one's gonna be very easy, we don't really care about it. Actually, I have an idea. Maybe we can reduce the noise. The neighbors are gonna like it, and I'm gonna like it. Seems isolated, or at least a bit more isolated. Oh! Alright, it's broken, I don't have spares, so different machine. And by different machine, I guess I mean doing things by hands. Well, starting to run out of options. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I guess this went from fun to no fun pretty fast. Are you kidding me? Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do some shopping. Or actually, show must go on. Whoops, not straight. Yeah, I know what's up with that. Oh, it's not going straight. I guess I'm holding it in a weird way. Yeah, no, that's gonna take too much time. Fuck that. And we are back in business. Thankfully, the hardware shop was really close. Whee! Alright. So those were the easy, well, one more easy cut, I guess. Or two. So I guess now it would be nice to do this thing again, where we can just slide it along the thing. Let's see. I guess first I'll have to correct these things a bit. Yeah, and then we're gonna make this fixture again. Whoops. My dad had it forever, he didn't nick it once, and I have it for a bunch of minutes, I already nicked it. But my guess is the nick happened at the very beginning anyways. I guess I also care a bit less because it's super old, but it has nostalgic value. We'll see. Yeah, 6.5 centimeters. Something like this. And it's going to be very hard to mount in the back again, unfortunately. But maybe it'll be enough to... Hang on a second. Lego to the rescue. Spoiler alert. So I guess the probability to crack the Lego is quite big? Okay, maybe not. Fine. No Lego. Good, and the rest will tappity tap tap. Kind of afraid that it might pop off, but we'll see. Alright, and it's almost perfect. So where's the tappity? While I have the slider set up, let me actually quickly prepare two more cuts for drafting the side cut. Oh, it was on, not good. And actually, just make two pieces. There you go. So, let's see. We have like our pieces that we cut out here. And yeah, it's a bit wider than it has to be. So we're gonna of course correct that. And these are the experimental parts. And we can also check that the spacing here is definitely enough for the knives. So that's great. So now, let's measure this. And for this, I thought of a little trick. And I said before, Legos. Ta-da! Introducing the radius measure. That was expected. I guess levelness is going to be an issue, but that's okay. Gonna make it more or less level, I guess. I will have to refine it for sure. Alright, so let's press it against the wall and let's see. Yeah, we definitely have some spacing. That looks about right to me. So now all we need to do is just to transfer this pattern to the experimental piece of wood. And you know, let's not be too precise, let's just guess it and then we're gonna like file it down to precision. We can use that. Let's try that. Let me just do this by hand for the beginning, and then later we'll figure maybe out something for the mechanical saw, for the motorized saw, I mean. And let's try to not destroy the table. I need a trash can in this room. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, so it's not perfect at the top. So let's just file it down a bit at the top. And now it's pretty smooth. Let me get a pencil. So it looks like we're gonna need still all of this to be filed down a little bit, and I would like to make this a bit rounder as well. Oh, still. Looks like it's leaning more at the bottom now here. You know, I'm gonna be happy with that. Yeah, and symmetrical. I will also make sure to add a little bit more material at the bottom there. So of course I can't add the material, but when pressing through to these guys, we can just cut less. So this guy will be our prototype, and we're gonna put this shape on both ends, and then we're gonna have to fit the width. Yeah, let's have too much at the beginning rather than too little. And we wanted to have a bit more material at the bottom, so yeah, something like this. Whoa. As we can see already, this is going to be definitely too big. That's great, and let's hope that we can make a good guess about how much to take off. Curious if we transfer the rest sounds to the bottom apartment if we put down one of these mats. Gotta be nice to the neighbors. And at this point I wish I had two cameras, so I didn't have to run back and forth to the kitchen with the one camera. Well, technically it's a smartphone. So, as anticipated, this is too broad, and this is great because we can now remove some material. And I thought about a way how to figure out how much to take off. So it's not going to be a precise science, but let's just see how far this gets when this is roughly even. Yeah. Let's see how far this gets down if it's precisely even. And I wish I had more hands. Let's do it otherwise. Let's start with this. And oh, look at that, we can put it. Ah! Who needs hands? The nice thing is it seems to be a bit compliant, so maybe if we could even squeeze it in, that would be fun. Okay, we can kind of see that it's not equally high, but we'll be able to calculate from this, well not calculate, but just to derive from this roughly how much we need to take off. Basically we have this line here, and the thing at the bottom needs to be at the height of this line, roughly, right? So, thing at the bottom needs to be roughly at the height of this line. Let's make it again a bit too broad potentially, and maybe make another iteration. Wow, very a difference. Okay, well I think at this point I'm just gonna eyeball it. So let's just take some more off. I'm happy with this. This squeezes in nicely. Can we also squeeze it at the front? Yes, we can also squeeze it at the front. Perfect. So now all we need to do is to transfer this to the other guys. So I'm going to do one side as closely as possible, and then we can fit the other side. And you know what? I think I'll just do the filing down in the kitchen. So these will be very nice fits. Ah yeah, in the kitchen. Wow, yeah, definitely not even. Use the right technique all you want. You also have to be precise, I guess. Yeah. Bad news for lazy people like me. Or maybe... Yeah, never mind. This is this side. Alright. Alright. Oh, let's see. This might have... Well, yeah, this is definitely too much. Oof, this is... I hope this is the prototype. Uh-oh. Oh wow, that's interesting. This is basically already flopping around. So this will go to the front. Easy choice. And the back... You know what? Why work more if you can work less? Let's just leave it as is. And so then the next step will be to put these guys in. Cut them to length as well. And we will put them in with like this intersection technique. Do we have to? Maybe we don't have to put it in with the intersection technique. No, let's do it. More fun. And yeah, otherwise we already don't have that much space in the back. So yeah, and of course don't forget we're gonna have the... Are we gonna have? Yeah, I think we're gonna have like the things which go all the way through on both sides. Yeah. Let's quickly cut these guys to the correct length. And we're going to be both more precise and faster if we just cut them at the same time. And I guess it would be super nice to have a... how do you call it? An offset, but let's just try to eyeball it. That does not look bad to me. And of course, they're the same length. Yes. And now we're back to drawing. So now I'm gonna have to draw where to put them in. So the first thing is to always have a clean working surface and pens. Guess I could use the brush for that, but whatever. Alright, so first of all, these guys I think are 3mm thick. Yes, yes. So we can already draw things for these two. So we want to take off 3mm on both sides until half. And half is yeah, yes, right. So, and the question is, should I do it both at the same time? I think I'll give it a shot. These parts are not that hard to reproduce. These parts are a bit harder to reproduce. So it's not a big loss if we fail one of these. What's going on? Oh, I plugged it out. Is this machine falling apart? Wow, not straight at all. So now 2 of these guys are going to need this treatment. And let's find the ones which are the shortest. As we said, we're going to put the shortest one in front. So this and this looks short. And let's just measure this once. So I guess we're going to see that these guys are not the same length now. Width. Yeah, the top one is a bit broader. So I just move the bottom one over just a teeny bit. So the things will be symmetrical. Or, yeah, actually what we can do is we can flip around one of them and then there will be symmetrical. So yeah, let's just keep it like this. We'll be fine. Good. So now we don't need to calculate, we can open the CAD, so let me get the computer. So we have this width of the very first drawing, of the very first sketch, which is 32 centimeters. So we're gonna take the actual width of these guys and transfer it there. Oh, it's 32 centimeters, that's great. I was afraid that it wouldn't be, but the prediction was actually pretty correct. Well, the measurement. To be technical. Okay, so we can just get the derived edges and the derived distances, and we should good stuff. I'm thinking, do we put them from top or from the bottom? I think put them from the bottom up, so that they, like, you can't pull them out or something without pulling out everything. So let's make them from the bottom up, and yeah, let's get these derived distances. So from here to here, and that is driven dimension 10.517. Yeah, so this is when you divide something by 3 in 3 parts and then have a width of 3 millimeters. It's going to be a bit ugly, but let's just be chipper about this. And let's take this down. So add a distance of 10.517 centimeters roughly. We're going to place a first stroke. And then we're going to add 3 millimeters to it. 5. Let's be honest about our capabilities here. 10.5 to 10.8. And we can just do the same from the other side. Like so. And we will, of course, transfer this to the bottom. But it's going to be much easier to just draw through. So let's do that. Please don't fall down. Thank you. You can fall down. Whew. Don't push too hard. Okay, and we want again to have the middles. We just need to measure it on one actually. Oh, we're gonna cut everything together anyways, so who cares? needed is just one. That's okay. Actually, what I'm gonna do here for these guys, okay, we can actually use the lines to align these two. So let's just clamp these together. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill holes so that we can just drive up to these holes. Let's do that. I put them a bit lower because there is of course the diameter of the drill. Although we don't care if it goes up higher a little bit. And it's a 3mm, so let's find the 3mm thingy. And by thingy I mean drill bit. Well, don't cut yourself. Thinking face. That's annoying. I'm gonna destroy it. If I take it out with this, with the pliers, probably I am gonna destroy it. But I'd rather destroy that than my fingers. 1.52, 2.53. And maybe let's grab it at the bottom. Ew! Alright. I need a phone with more storage. Just ran out of storage on me. But I just freed up 6.5 gigs, so that should be fine. And I'm super happy that I caught the stuff. Imagine if I didn't. That would have been a bit awkward. Well, not awkward I guess, but I have to redo a bunch of things. I don't know. It's nice that I don't have to. Alright, I have to reclamp this. Bottom side, top, down, something. I forgot the AV terminology for that. Sawdust. Now let's see. Did it work or not? I feel a bit stupid. Wow, this is actually tougher than I thought. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. So we don't even need to glue it. Like we can just put it together. That's so cool. Yeah, it's probably even too narrow. So let's hope it doesn't break on me. Let's not hope. Let's unshort. Let's hope. Fuck it. Likes to slide out. Yeah, I don't have a good feeling about this, actually. Yeah, this is much better to have a bit tolerance. It's still super tight, so that's nice. And I mean, oh, okay, never mind. It can fall out, but yeah, it's hard to make it fall out. So the other one. guess a file would be more proper. Not a file, but sandpaper. I think sandpaper would be slower, and I don't like slow. Cool. Oh. I'm quite happy with this. Okay, so I had to take a break because the phone ran out of battery. And while I was doing the break, I tried on the stuff that I cut out and put into the drawer. And I'm pretty happy with the result. However, I found a problem, which is that I wanted to have like 3 subdivisions back there, but if I put this here at the end, there is no way that I'm going to reach whatever's behind the subdivision. So there's not even a point in making the subdivision at the very back. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put in this subdivision roughly here. I think I decided 6 centimeters. I guess it could be a bit more, but let's put it there. And just 1 subdivision, or yeah, and yeah, maybe a bit closer actually, so that I can reach in and grab stuff from the back. Let's make it 5 centimeters, and then the small spoons, they still fit in here, so that's great. So yeah, all that's left to do now is to file down these 3, such that we can fit in the side bars. And I wish we could all file them together, but yeah, not really. I guess what we can do is we can start filing them together. No, we can file them together, never mind, let's just do it. Yeah, I'm still yet to find the consensus. Maybe like the idea with the file wasn't that great. Maybe it'll always slide around. Hope not. You start to see an indentation. I guess my neighbors are not going to be happy about this. Interesting. Alright, let's just go on. Definitely rounds off kind of by itself. Curious whether we can do it with the saw. Because I feel that if we do it with the saw, it will be more likely to be able to stick. Which would be nice. Let's try it. I'm just going to do 1 cut and then measure and then do the other. Alright. 1 cut. You know what? Yeah, let me put these guys together. Seems to be always a good idea. Not that it's needed for measuring. So yeah, it should be 2 centimeters. Let's verify. Yeah, let's make it a bit less than 2 centimeters so that it's more fun to squeeze it in. Where was the pencil? It's been in the kitchen. Was trying to hide under the drawer. Yeah, much better than filing. Jeez. Maybe we won't need... Well, I guess we'll need glue. I should make it tighter for the second side. Yeah, definitely uneven. Guess let's try to make it on the same height, roughly. Would be nice. Ooh, yeah, I could flip it around, but then I'd have to like do another cut. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm curious, is there a way to transfer it to be on the same height? Or are we just gonna eyeball it? It's a good old measuring system. 1.2. Alright. So yeah, I guess it's not super symmetrical, but oh yeah, it's definitely not. We have to add some more. So I think that would be more on the bottom. Oh yeah, and that was already too much. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's go to the kitchen and see, and then I think the next step will already be gluing. Well, I guess I'll have to file these down a bit. Ooh, it's breaking. Both of them, I guess, right? Yup. That's fun. Let's do that real quick. Yeah. You know what's more fun than filing? Bandsaw. I will be right back. Oh, wow, perfect. Almost perfect fit. But pretty much perfect. I mean, it doesn't really go sideways, so that's nice. So, time to assemble, I would say. So let's do this again. And on the other side, oh, wood's starting to split. Let's hope that this trend doesn't continue too quickly. And this is the loose one, I guess. No, it's not loose if you squeeze it in to the very end. And we also have to squeeze this in a bit further. Good enough. Alright, so we could put these in the other way. Yes, the other way. But we also want to have these guys in, so let's just put them in. And they, oh yeah, they could actually snap. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna call that a snap. And here, that actually snapped. Beautiful. Insert. And then we can put this in and just slide it along. That's way too much tolerance there. Yeah, the back is not really that nice, I guess. Yeah, they're not equally thick at all. Let's do one more filing. You know, let's just measure the 5 centimeters that we want, and then we're gonna glue it. I mean, it would be nice to actually have it lean against the wall. See, if it would have been perfect, then it could have landed against the wall. Oh, I forgot, we can squeeze this in. It's already looking better. Let's try again. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna win a prize for prettiness, but it'll function, and that's really more important for me. You know what? I'm gonna squeeze it in. Yeah, this is much cooler. Good. So, 5 centimeters. Of course, the pencil is again in the other room. The solution is, of course, to have 1 pencil per room. That's what I have for scissors, but not for pencils yet. And we said 5 centimeters. So let's do that. 5 and front. Five front, left, right. Good. Okay, let's glue. These fit so nicely together, I'm not even gonna glue them. I think I'm just gonna glue the stuff in the back and the things on the side. We don't really need that much glue. Although now I guess I could get confused about left, right, front and back. Oh, especially since I forgot which of those was the front one. Ah yeah, the things that you have to think about. It hurts. So if one of them is narrower, it's probably the front one. Very precise measurements, 29.4 and less than 29.4. Do I risk it? Whoa. Is there anything else that could indicate? Oh yeah, maybe the screws in the front. Do we have screw prints? Nope. That's a pity. I'm gonna fit it in and check it and take the pencil with me, and the pencil is already there. F for front. Of course, now I'm gonna think about how to tighten it, not before. Yeah, clamps. Totally fine. Hope they're not too heavy. Oh, and of course now it's, yeah, upside down would have been better, but that's okay. It's fine. This probably doesn't need a clamp, but let's clamp it anyways, and I think I have 2 more clamps left, which is perfect. Actually, we'll be able to tighten this in a much better way. So here and here. Just with a cord. I think that'll work out. Let's see. So let's put up the glue. And bring it in, and there's spacing because this is now bent in the opposite way. That's fine. I'm gonna bend it back, have some tension going on everywhere. Let's see how it will go with the rope. Let's hope I don't break the thing. And actually having some space is a good idea, because that will allow the wood to be a bit more bending. Let's just go again. Doesn't hurt. I mean, it could hurt if it would break, but yeah, it's okay. There we go. Seems to be under tension. Great. Okay, so now this will dry for a while. Moment of truth. I'm not going to provoke it too much. Let's see during daily use how it proves. I'm not going to rip it apart. I mean, in the end, the glue, the surface that's glued is very thin anyway, so why provoke it? I'm going to grab it here, and yeah, that's it. A bit different than planned in the beginning. And there we go. I don't like that much runs together in the end. But yeah, that's basically this place which is uneven between the two. I guess maybe the main problem is the fact that these things are not equally wide. Like this one in the back is quite narrow, and this was, I guess, where like the error started. But I'm not unhappy. And I put it in. And here it is in action. I guess not yet in action. It's like it in action. So long one at the back. Happy neighbors. Is it a bit high maybe? Yeah. I don't know, let's see. Guess it could be a bit lower from the height. But yeah, definitely plenty of space. Oh yeah, and of course the chopsticks. So yeah, I'll have to think about this. This is for coffee. Maybe I'm gonna need it. Well, I guess I'm gonna need this more often. And I can just put the chopsticks further back. Yeah. So small spoons are actually used quite often for coffee and stuff. Maybe just a bit narrower. Yeah, interesting stuff to do for a second iteration potentially. Also, yeah, again, like we see that this is like sticking out here, so definitely potential for improvement, but I think this will do for now. Alright, so what is the conclusion of this project? Well, first of all, I think that the obvious conclusion is that the video was a bit long. Sorry about that, I didn't realize that while I was making it. It's my first video. So I think the next project should be a bit simpler than this one. This one was surprisingly complex. like this fitting of stuff and the precision that was required, even though it's just a very simple 2D thing, if you will, it took some time. It took some time to fit all the things, and like, even though I had this cool solution up my sleeve, it took some time to actually realize it and to file things down. And then I did some more mistakes that I'm going to discuss, but yeah, first of all, video too long. I want to do that shorter. Maybe you will have noticed that the editing, I was a bit optimistic at the beginning, so I started to, at the beginning, just do maybe some accelerations, but I tried to keep all the things that I said, I tried to keep that in. Later I started cutting things out as well. Especially with the speaking, I think I'll need to have a little bit of discipline. Like, there are these instances where I just like said something, like some brain fart for a very, very short time. And, you know, while editing, I was like, is this needed, is this not? So I'll have to think about that the next time that I'm filming. But yeah. For the next project, as I said, it should be simpler. Actually, I think there will be no CAD required for that project, so it should be shorter. So I'm trying to keep the videos short. Alright, then let's talk about the project itself. So let's start with the design. I'm in general pretty happy with the design. The mistakes that happened, especially this flopping here, which I really don't like, that can be due to the design, but to be honest, it's also due to the way in which I manufactured it in a wrong way. But other than that, the design is pretty, I like it. It's, you know, like, it utilizes the space very well. Maybe it is a bit high, so maybe it could be a bit lower, like the walls, they don't need to be so high, because if something is at the very bottom, then you have to, yeah, actually, here this 5 centimeter thing, it's like I can't really grab it like that. I have to use my fingers to pull stuff out. So yeah, maybe doing it a bit flatter would make sense, but other than that, happy with the design. I think more stuff, lessons that were learned, well, I mean, you saw there were like plenty of mistakes in the video, right? So, I mean, stuff was breaking, and yeah, I mean, I did some mistakes. So I would say, first of all, during the cutting, I did this mistake that I wanted to like just have like all of the parts flush next to each other. So I think really next time I'm just gonna plan some spaces between the parts, and, you know, like, then do a rough cut. And I mean, in the end, the parts that are kind of like parallel, they need to be cut together. Like, this is a lesson that I've actually learned in an internship that I did once for we worked with metal. So I mean, here we have this vise, and we have these two parts that, you know, they really have to fit very well together. And so actually the only way to really achieve this is to, you know, like, clamp these parts together and then mill them together and do the holes together and all of these things. So obviously that's something that I did to some extent in this project, but I need to do more, especially for the things, especially for the fits on the side. I mean, I did them all individually. That was not really a great thing. It would have been hard, I think, to do them all together with the fret saw. And like the scroll saw, it has like a very wide blade, but actually what you can do with the scroll saw is it has these nice parts which you can add at the top and at the bottom, and you can actually fit in a fret saw blade in there. So next time I'm going to do that. And yeah, that's actually about it. So I hope you got something out of this video, and see you next time, hopefully with a shorter video.